planning, girls. Alright, welcome back to Planning with Penguins. Teresa here. On this particular video, I am doing a flip through of the first 5 months of 2017 in my planners. I've seen other people do these, and it was interesting to me just to sort of look back at everything that they had done and sort of reflect, and I thought I would do that. And this was a good breaking point because summer just hit for me with school because I'm a teacher, and it might be a good, good little bit of reflection to sort of flip back through everything I've done. So I have 2 planners here. It looks like 3, but it's not, it's 2. My classic and my mini. These are the first several months of my mini. I've taken them out, and May is still in here, but I've taken them out and they're just banded together here. So we're going to flip through all of this stuff and sort of take a look at what things were like for me so far in the first 5 months. So we can start with my mini. So this is my mini happy planner. This is a recollections cover. You've seen this already on another video if you've watched it on my channel. This is my cover, and this is my current happy planner setup. I have some paper clips and stuff over here. This is the bookmark obituary for my grandfather, which we'll get into that as we go through these. I got a custom cover of Newt Scamander from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and that's my cover. And my little cute polka dot folder that's holding a bunch of fun stuff. And then May and through December are what is in the planner currently. So we'll get to this one in a minute. We're going to look at this first. So I apologize if this video is a little long because we are flipping through 5 months of time. So this is just extra cover that I have, and it's just kind of keeping everything flat. So here's January. And starting January off, as you can see, I use my month spread a lot. I use my mini to keep track of work scheduling and podcast scheduling and everything, so there's usually a lot written here. And then we go into my weekly spreads. It's probably helpful for me to pull this out. I do a bullet journaling key in my weekly spreads of a square for tasks, a circle for events, a triangle for appointments, a bullet point for a note, an asterisk for something that's important, a question mark for obviously something I have a question about, a little clock for a deadline, and then I have status stuff here for started, completed, canceled, irrelevant now, or moved or migrated, and then I had a color key. I didn't stick with the color key very much so far, but I definitely stick with the bullet journal key. This is on my dashboard that I keep in my weekly spread just to remind me of what my key is. So as you can see here, I didn't do a whole lot. I used a couple of small stickers here. I was thankful for new beginnings. Here I'm using Happy Planner stickers and attempting some sort of brush lettering, and decided I just don't know how to do that. And I just, used a little bit of some stickering here. Same thing, a few stickers, and mostly my bullet journal key. This is January 16th to January 22nd, and I didn't really fill anything in on this one. Filled in a little more January, towards the end of January. These are some stickers from Stranger Things, a kit from Pop Viz Paper. And then we get into February here, and I did fill in some things here for my February spread, and I have been actively trying to get more fit. I'm still struggling with that, but some of my goals are focused on that. And I actually bought a monthly kit for February, and I used it here, and I thought it was cute. But I do a lot of writing, generally speaking, in my monthly spread, so it was nice having something decorative to make it pretty to look at, but at the same time, and I don't know why this keeps happening, sorry, cat. Okay, so I did a few things with it. Lots of stuff. you guys are probably going to see as we go through this either a dip in stuff or a surge of things. There was an event that started exactly on this day, which is kind of funny, that my grandfather started getting really sick. He'd already been sick with cancer for almost 2 years, but his health started to seriously decline. And so there's a lot of bullet points here, family meeting type stuff. A lot of things were being moved or canceled. And then here we go. So we were at the hospital, and then we moved over to going into a hospice facility. And we're at the hospice facility still, and I'm trying to work on stuff for school. But you'll notice that my grandfather passed away on the 16th. And this was right around the time that I got the Faith Happy Planner sticker book and started using those. We had a lot to do this week. This was the funeral week, everything that was going on for the funeral. I had lots of appointments and things I had to be at. And now we're getting into March. And this is kind of evident, feeling depressed, clearly. March, I wrote down my schedule like I normally do. And then sort of took a little bit of a break, wrote some stuff. And here we go. Here's where it's going to start showing where I really started getting affected by everything that happened in February. Everything starts tapering off to nothing. I tried a little bit to put a few stickers in here. And then this is the end of March, and I knew there was some important stuff I needed to just get focused on and try. And so that was my attempt, but as you can see, a lot of stuff wasn't done. I wrote it down, but that didn't mean that anything actually got done. And then we get into April, and okay guys, welcome back. I'm sorry, I got a phone call and it interrupted stuff, so I'm not sure where I was. So we are at April, and in April I was going to Orlando for Star Wars Celebration, so I did have quite a bit that I had to write down. And so here we go. So we have not as much in schedules written down because my in-laws were here and then I was at Disney, but there's definitely some stuff down here at the end. But you're going to see where I didn't really use my pages because I obviously have been struggling since February to pick back up on stuff, and it really didn't start happening until May. So this is when we got back from Disney, and I was really trying to make an effort to try to be productive and to write stuff down instead of just having stuff in my head. I wrote some stuff down, and then I actually did some journaling on this Saturday. I was having a really bad day, and I did some journaling there. And then we get into May. So let me flip to May real quick in the actual planner. And I'm going to take this guy and pop it in so that you guys can see it cohesively. Okay. So we are at May. And I still need to do a better job of filling all this in. But sometimes I never really know what to put for crafting, pinning, and things like that. I love the dashboards, by the way. All of them. I've loved them all. So this was May, and I decided to use some cute Tsum Tsum stickers that I had laying around, and I thought it was a good addition instead of just the writing. But lots of writing, figuring out my schedule, my husband's schedule, podcast schedules. I got some hydration trackers that are cute little penguins from a company called Sweet Cheeky Designs, and I was writing stuff in here. I did some journaling down here at the bottom. I used a bunch of stickers from the Happy Planner, stuff. In this one, I got the fitness book actually because I started working out. I started doing workouts this week. And then, of course, it tapered off because when you're trying to develop new habits, it takes a little bit sometimes to really get those habits good and going. So here we go. So we're looking at some stuff and trying to get stuff done. We're getting in the last few days of school. I really did it up with some stickers from the Happy Planner sticker books. And as you can see, I started to get pretty productive. I did some journaling over here for the weekend. And now we are at June. So for June, still trying to figure out what I'm writing over here, but I have one goal, which is to work out 3 times a week. So that is starting in June. So far in my month, I have written some stuff. I haven't done anything here. I am planning on trying to decorate this with washi and some stickers, so I'm leaving this to do something really cool where this sticky note is, because we go to Disney on the 28th. And this is the current week we are on. As you can see, lots of Happy Planner stickers, lots of progress of actually getting stuff done and writing things down. And I feel like I'm starting to get back into my planner groove, so that's good. So this is my mini. All right, let's jump into my classic. I'm gonna put this back over here. So this is my classic planner. It's the seasonal planner that came in a boxed kit. I switched out my rings. They were golds. I switched them for the translucent teal. Here is my pocket folder. It has some stickers in it and some drawings that I've done. And here's my cover page, which is, I just sort of did this with pen. And January. So I filled in a little bit more here. I never really know what to doodle. This monthly view in my classic, it stays home a lot of the time. Sometimes it travels with me, but it's mostly me really planning out when all of my podcasts are going to be that I do, because I do 6 different podcasts, and when I'm going to guest on stuff. So that's what I mainly do here. And at first I wasn't really sure how I was going to use the Happy Planner. This is my first time using one, was this week, and I decided that for sure the bottom section was going to be a gratitude journal. And so that's sort of how I started here. We had a camping trip we did here, and I wrote some fitness stuff as well as a little bit of journaling about that particular trip. This is one of my favorite kits I've ever used ever in my life, because I'm hugely obsessed with penguins, obviously, planning with penguins. I did my gratitude journaling down here, and I sort of played around with stickers here, and I liked how I started to overlap some stuff, but I didn't really continue doing that. I kind of wish I had. This is from one of the maybe color storybooks or something like that, but a Happy Planner. And I did my journaling. This is a Pop Fizz paper kit. I didn't journal much at all. This is another Pop Fizz paper kit. It's the Stranger Things kit, and I did write my schedule in here, but I didn't do much else. I also did my journaling down here at the bottom, but not for the weekend, apparently. So here is February. You're going to see a very interesting correlation to my mini, but also something very different. I did this when we were at the hospice facility, somewhere during this week. And as I put all the stickers down, I went back and wrote in on the days. The days were blank. I went back and wrote in on the days after everything happened in February. And what I began to realize is that the reason that I was so depressed and tired was because of what happened. And sometimes you don't even see it until you write it down. On the 1st is when my grandfather went into the hospital. We were at the hospital up until Sunday the 5th. If you guys hear me get choked up, I don't sort of go through this very often, and it's hard to do. He was in the hospital until the 5th, and then we transferred to a hospice facility. Typically, when they transfer somebody to a hospice facility, that means that that person only has a couple of days. Well, not us. We were in the hospice facility for about a little over a week, about a week and 3 days or so, so a total of about 10 days. And so every day I was at the hospice facility and trying to do work at school and trying to support my family. And we were here all through Valentine's Day and everything. And then on Thursday, the 16th, my grandfather passed away. This was the day after my grandparents' 32nd wedding anniversary or something like that. It was the day after. And then we had funeral home meetings, stuff that I had to do with the funeral home. And then he was a public official here in Texas. He was an elected public official. So his funeral actually lasted 3 days. So it went from the 22nd through the 24th. And we're Catholic, so, rosary and funeral and things. And then my cousin committed suicide on Monday, the following Monday, the 27th. So my February was just insane. It was insane. That's all I can say. Okay, so another really cute unicorn cat kit, and what you're going to see is a lot of writing. Gratitude journal stuff, documenting everything that I did, every place that I was. This was a huge week. This was the main week we were at the hospice facility, and I went through every single thing that happened, the people that were there, people that came by, stuff that was said, how we made decisions, everything. It's all here. And it was what I did to sort of pass time, but also to understand what was going on. Things that were canceled. And this is where I got the Faith Happy Planner sticker book. And there was stuff that I had to do and get ready for school. 64th. Geez, I was so wrong. I don't know why I thought 30. 64th wedding anniversary. My grandparents on the 15th of February had been married for 64 years. And my grandfather waited until the day after to pass away. It's crazy. So I'm writing everything that was happening. And this was the day that he died. And I documented the time. This is the day that he died is actually the date of their engagement. This was my prayer list of things that I wanted to ask God for. And I was asking for a bunch of stuff. Things I was thankful for, and then I started to get into things that I needed to do for the funeral. I just got into go mode. This is funeral week and the return of the penguins, because penguins make me happy. And again, I wrote everything down and the dates of all of the funeral stuff, and then the Oscars, trying to do something that brings me some sort of enjoyment. All right, here is March, and my main goal was to take time for myself to grieve and get back to feeling normal. So again, my month goal is my month view is very similar. I just started playing out my podcasts and stuff. No stickers really, just documenting where my mental health was at, how everything was going for me, and just sort of what I was doing. We did take a camping trip as sort of trying to regroup. This is a kit from Pop Fizz Paper. It reads Rainbows Make Me Happy, so I was trying to make sure I did that. Also tried to make sure that I journaled I don't remember who this kit is from, but I was definitely using some Happy Planner stickers as well as encouragement. And then we start to get into where my depression really kind of started to take over my life. So around March 20th is when that started to happen. And I just sort of didn't write anything. I at least planned out what work looked like. Same thing here. And then we get into April, and I love this divider. I thought it was really cute. And this is when I was going to Celebration in Orlando. I didn't really use too much color here or decorate in any way. It just looks very boring. And it's a correlation to what was in my mini. There's nothing there and nothing there and very little to nothing here. And then around the end of April, I wanted to try to get with it, girl, and figure out what the heck is going on. So I made a commitment and I did my gratitude journaling, and then we hit May. And I didn't really have a lot to put down here. I did have some goals for myself. And here's my May dashboard, and I used a kit for this particular month to try to brighten things up. I love this kit. I actually love decorating my months for May, but buying kits all the time can be really expensive, and so I've got to learn another way to do those. But I really did enjoy this particular kit. I thought it was pretty. And then here is May, and I'm kind of getting my groove back a little bit in my journaling and decorating and making things look pretty. Lots of fitness stickers. I got the Happy Planner fitness book here and really started working on stuff and writing things down. And this was this past week, all Happy Planner stickers except for my little kitty cats, and completed all of my journaling when I got my new teacher planner. And you're gonna notice something. 14th of May, 22nd of May, I didn't plan out the week of the 15th to the 21st, and I thought I had. So when I started this spread, I just did it and didn't notice that I had actually missed a week. And so I just whited over the numbers and wrote them in purple pen, and then I actually I glued pages together so that I tape rolled them so that you wouldn't know there was a missing week, but I just told you, so that's my secret. And we're here in June, one of my favorite dividers ever. I still have to fill this out. I still have to decorate my June spread, so all of that is coming up for you, and I'm really excited, and I'm getting back into my planner, and I'm starting to get going with it again, and it feels good. So one thing I want to say to people that sometimes don't want to do this because they feel like they may not be consistent with it, sometimes this happens right here. And it's okay, because you can pick right back up where you left off, and sometimes it looks like this and it's kind of blah, and then sometimes it looks like this, and then sometimes it looks like this week, which I was super proud of this whole spread right here. So sometimes it looks like that, and that is really awesome. Or even the spread that I have for the current week right now. You know, and I've been busy and I haven't written these out, so I'm about to do that. But, you know, sometimes things happen. Sometimes life happens to you and you don't do it and you drop off, and it's okay. So don't feel any pressure to make sure that your planner always looks a certain way, because it doesn't have to. It can be whatever it is, and sometimes it's a really good reflection on what your year has been like. And if I didn't have this documentation in February right here, I might forget all of the stuff that happened, and having it means more to me than anything. So use your planner however you want to. It doesn't have to be the same way all year. You can switch it up, you can change it up, you can do all kinds of stuff. So anyway, this is my flip through up until May, and I think I might start doing these flip throughs monthly, especially if you guys like them. So let me know if you like them. And this, I told you I'd get back to this. This is the obituary from the newspaper for my grandfather. It's a little tall, but it goes in my mini, and it's with me every single day. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you guys plan a happy life, and like and subscribe everything, and if you have any comments, leave them down below. Thanks, guys.